Hey everybody! I saw a spooky movie called The Prodigy in theaters a couple days ago, and I'd like to talk about it. The Prodigy is the latest addition in the creepy kid subgenre of horror, and if I had to pitch it, I would say it's probably a Child's Play meets The Orphan type horror movie. So it's a possession movie of sorts, and it's not one I really knew much about besides that. I may have seen the trailer. I remember the poster and the tagline saying, "What's wrong with Miles?" The name of the kid character. So something like that. And it is predictably a creepy kid movie, a possession movie, and it plays out pretty much how you'd expect. Now, horror is probably the genre I watch the most. I might call it my favorite, but I definitely have watched more horror movies than any other genre. And as such, I think the possession subgenre of horror is probably the most played out, stale, cliched little corner of the horror market there is. So with that in mind, the things I liked about this movie, the filmmaker more often than not steered clear of jump scares. They really played up the quiet rooms, the still, the dark rooms. Shot just lingered on an empty space for a while. It kind of makes you a little paranoid. I like stuff like that. I mean, usually in movies like this, modern possession movies or modern horror movies in general, they'll have situations like that and it'll be working, and then they'll just throw a loud noise jump scare in, and it's not effective really. It gets you in the moment, but nothing's lasting. This movie had a lot of those moments that weren't punctuated by a jump scare, so I liked that. Thought the acting was pretty good in this movie, especially the titular Prodigy. The actor that played him is the same actor that played Georgie in It a couple years back. And just like in It, he's able to transition from cute, adorable, innocent little kid to just downright evil, despicable in an instant. And he brings that to this movie as well. He says some really awful things, does some awful things. It reminded me a lot of The Exorcist, but every possession movie reminds me of The Exorcist because they did it the best, I think. But, a little kid saying awful things, doing awful things, and he pulls it off better than most child actors would have, probably. So that's pretty effective too. The creepy kid angle works pretty well. Those positives out of the way, this movie does fall into all of the cliches and the tropes of this particular subgenre that I mentioned earlier. Characters are stupid. You're constantly questioning, why are they doing that? Why aren't they doing that? Why does she believe that so easily? Why does the husband disbelieve it? Stuff like that. It's staples in horror in general, but really in possession movies or haunting movies, there's a character that believes, there's a character that doesn't believe, and they pay for not believing, and there's a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of extreme coincidences, lucky things that happen for our antagonist to succeed. Papers left out for him to see, laptops open with information that he shouldn't know, but he finds out. That's stuff that the characters, the protagonists, should know better, should know not to do. Just everything to give this character, the antagonist, an edge, the Prodigy. And just too many moments where the Prodigy should have gotten caught. Too many times where you're wondering, well, why didn't they investigate the scene a little bit better? There's several crime scenes in the movie, and they just gloss over that so this kid can get away, when in reality, any little investigation into the crime scene would have revealed fingerprints, or, well, there's no way the guy could have gotten that injury from a car wreck. Well, someone must have stabbed him. Who would that have been? Oh, the only other person in the car is the Prodigy. Like, stuff like that. A lot of head-scratching moments. You're like, what, did they not just think that through? Did they not think the audience would be smart enough to realize this is stupid? So a lot of those things that just got under my skin, really irritating. So in the end, I just don't think this movie brings anything new to the genre. You've seen it all before, especially if you've seen Child's Play or The Orphan. Then you've seen this exact movie, essentially. You pretty much know how it's going to play out. They set it up for sequels, which, I can foresee a bunch of straight to Netflix, straight to Redbox sequels coming out with increasingly worse child actors being the Prodigy. See it as clear as day in my head, but I guess we'll see how it does in theaters. It just didn't do a whole lot for me. Just not a whole lot to write home about. I'd give it like a 65%. It's just a soft 6. It's a passable time at the theater, but nothing you're gonna remember. Nothing you're gonna be thinking about at night and freaking yourself out. Nothing that sticks with you. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie. If you're into that sort of thing, the possession movies, that's your particular fix? Go out and see it. It's not the worst. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.